Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. And it's Monday. And that means on Mondays, we talk about the messes over there on Love After Lockup. I've got Keisha. Keisha, I was trying to think of something funny to be like Manic Monday, Felon Monday, but I can't think of a M word that has to do with prisoners. Inmate Monday?
Meat Meatloaf Monday, because they probably have that in prison. Meatloaf Monday, Taco Tuesday, whatchamacallit Wednesday,
Whatchamacallit Wednesday.
whatchamacallit Wednesday. So I'm sure
Gross.
they have names in prison for the days, and it's on schedule with what's for dinner.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I was just sitting here. I was like, that would be fun if I could come up with something for Mondays. It's like we always talk about the felons on Monday, but what
Right.
word means criminal?
Misdemeanor Mondays.
Oh, that's good. Except most of these are real felons. Real felons.
Yeah. They didn't go to
Oh,
jail. They did time, like hard time. You know what? A lot of people don't know that there's a difference between jail and prison.
right. Okay. Jail
And
is
there's a
usually like
huge difference.
is like a local situation, right?
Yeah. I mean, and you can be in jail for like up to a year, but prison is you're doing hard time. You've been sentenced and convicted when you
Mm-hmm.
go to prison. Yeah, some
Right.
people think they're one and the same, and they're not. No.
Right. It's like on Real Housewives of New Jersey when Teresa would say she's gone to camp. She's gone to jail camp. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Mhm.
was in prison. It was a federal crime, which she did,
Yeah, and I will
allegedly.
say the book where she talks about all that is
Uh-huh.
really good. It's really good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you read it. That was nice.
I read both of them. The first one was not that good. She kept just referring to herself as one tough Italian cookie. I was like, please stop. Just
And this is
stop.
like she's written books about her life in addition to the cookbooks.
Yes, I've not read any of the cookbooks, but I've read both of her. I mean, would they be called autobiographies? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
I
I guess
guess
so.
so. I
Huh.
guess. Yeah.
She wrote one before prison and one after or two after?
It's one before, one after, and the one after prison, she gets real. Like,
Huh.
it's no facade or anything like that. She gets down to the nitty-gritty details about prison and smells in prison and kinda how
Mm.
her life was and how she felt about Joe, and it was
Mm.
real. Yeah. The
Mm.
other one was just bad. I
You
don't know.
just said this thing about smells, which triggered something in me.
Okay.
When I get bored, I allow myself the luxury of looking at TikTok because I know that once I look at
Mhm.
TikTok, it's like hours. I
Yes.
spent hours. So somehow it got on my algorithm because I stopped. If you stop and look at a video, then now TikTok
Yes.
thinks that that's what you want to see. Well, I'm
Yes.
here to tell you, TikTok, if you're listening, I don't need to see raccoon videos just because I looked at one raccoon video. There was a there was a family of raccoons that had come in somebody's house, like, through the doggy door,
Uh-huh.
and the woman, like, she's going, "Oh, shit. Oh, shit," and you just see all these little eyes looking at her like at, night vision, like,
Right.
at her, and she tells the husband to turn the light on, and he does, and they all just go out the dog door except one, and one's like, "I'm going this way," and goes the other way, and so all the comments were like, "I like that last one." He was like, "I don't give a fuck. I didn't get anything. I'm going back in. I'm going back in." So I was telling my husband about this, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, didn't I tell you yesterday on our walk, on the long walk around the neighborhood, I saw a dead raccoon." I was like, "Oh my god, no.
Oh.
No." He goes, "Yeah, and then today, it had moved off the road, but it been wasn't much left of it, like the birds had gotten to it." I was like, "Okay."
Oh, poor
He
thing.
and then he's starting to tell me, like, "And it smelled." I go, "You know what?" I
I
go,
bet.
bleh, I'm done."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then 10 minutes later, he decides he's gonna bring it back up. He goes, "What could kill a raccoon?" Because they're pretty mean and pretty feisty. Like,
Mhm.
what could kill a raccoon? It couldn't be a fox because, those are almost
Yeah.
the same size.
Yeah.
He's going into this
Yeah.
whole thing. I was like, "I don't know. I don't care." He's like, "Do you think we have, like, a mountain lion or something?" I was like, "Oh
Oh,
my
he went
god."
way he was doing a deep dive. Do y'all
So
just not see roadkill very often?
well, if you're walking the dogs in the neighborhood, you don't normally see, like, a dead raccoon. Now, if you're on the
Oh,
highway or something, yeah,
okay, okay, okay,
but just kinda in the neighborhood walking around, he was
okay. They may
yeah,
have
so
gotten
he's
into some poison or something like that, and
Yeah,
This
and he
is
said that a
wild.
neighbor had said, like, "Hey, just watch out, when you get close up there, you might wanna cross with the dogs because there's there's some,
Yo.
like, buzzards in the road trying to,
Right.
like, pick apart this
Eat
carcass." Yeah.
poor thing.
I was like, "Oh my god, what happened? What would kill a raccoon?"
Not
I don't
much
know.
can kill a raccoon other than, like,
That's
a car, you know what I
I
mean?
know.
They're
Yeah.
pretty badass. I mean, and for it to still be when he first saw it, it was just dead. That's why I said
Yeah.
maybe it got into some poison or something like that, or it had an injury and had an infection and it died. I've
Yeah, I was
watched a
like,
lot of Dr. Pol episodes, so,
"Who's
yeah, but
Doctor
other than
Pole?"
that, you don't know who Dr. Jan Pol is?
P-O-L? Pole? P-O-L-E?
Yes.
No, I don't know him.
He's like one of the greatest veterinarians ever. He has a show on what is it? Nat
Animal Planet?
Geo?
Oh, Nat
Yeah, like
Geo.
I he
Yeah.
has convinced me that I could birth a calf. If the mom was in a bad situation and couldn't
Uh-huh.
push it out, I am so convinced. And James just looks at me because he's really had to, he grew up on a ranch. He knows how to do all this shit. But I'm like,
Mhm.
I can do it. I know how to do the little thing, the crank, I know how to pull it out. I know all the steps. I'm just waiting for the opportunity to do it.
My nephew can do that. He does that all the time because he is a cowboy, and he owns all these
Okay.
cows, and he has to
Mhm.
help birth the cows all the time.
Yeah, I'm convinced from countless hours of Dr. Pol that I can do that as well. Mhm.
Okay, well, I'll get you in touch with my nephew Harry, Dirty
Well, I
Harry's
mean, like
Cowboy Service. Yeah.
James's parents, they have beef cattle, but
Yeah.
to me, from watching Dr. Pol, this happens often where they need help birthing, but it doesn't happen very often at all that they actually need assistance.
I don't even wanna talk about this anymore because it's really making my stomach really super churn. It's
Well, I'll
making me
tell you
sick.
what,
But
I got caught up on TikTok last night watching
Uh-huh.
Turkish shows, and let me tell you, they are good. And you just
What
watch one scene, then the next scene. I don't. So it popped up because the night before I was stuck on watching these women who are the wives of rich Dubai men. And it's
Okay.
like a day in a life. So
Yeah.
somehow it got me to like these Turkish, I don't know if they're like soap operas, but they are so good. And you need not be able to understand the language. You get
Okay.
it. So
Okay.
good. That was like an hour and a half last night.
I wonder why that popped up for you. You think because you watched the Dubai thing, then the
Yes.
Turkish thing up, and now next thing you know,
Yeah.
your Instagram DMs are gonna be filled with Turkish guys coming at you.
And that's fine
Yeah.
because if they can give me the life that the rich Dubai men, if they know men from
Yeah.
Dubai who are rich and who will buy me a G Wagon and get it customized pink, I'm
Mhm.
willing to take my shot. You know what I mean? I'm gonna shoot my shot.
Alright, but then you'll have to
I'll send James a little something something on the side.
every so often you'll
I won't forget about him. You know, I may pay for him to come visit me when my rich husband's in another country, and
Oh my gosh, now that's gonna
yeah,
come up on my feed. Yeah, so I did that earlier today, so I sat down and took my notes for this, and then I was
mm,
like, "Oh, I have, like, an hour." So I
yeah,
need to shower, I need to go to the grocery store. Did I do those 2 things?
no.
Well, I did one, I showered, but I didn't go to the grocery store because I got sucked in to
You
TikTok.
get sucked in and you don't realize how long you've been on there.
I
But I will
know.
say this, the Turkish housewives or the Dubai housewives was a nice break from the cat video where he's looking
Uh-huh.
at the other cat and like he looks him up and down because he just totally wants to knock the fuck out of the other cat. So
Uh-huh.
it'll like tell you like this is how I look when I say that I need to get some meat out of the freezer. Your husband looks at you and says, "Well, I've got some meat for you." Those videos.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the other cat video where it's like gangster rap music and he's driving a car and it's like when I pull up to a gas station, there's too many guys out there and I'm like, fuck, now I gotta go to another gas station. And I just watch them. They're so funny to me.
See, cat videos, because, I don't enjoy cats. Cat videos are not in my algorithm, but I get a lot of dogs. A lot of dogs. And, it's all very exciting there on the TikTok. Now, I don't wanna give TikTok any more, airtime, but I will tell you that I do understand how the teenagers get addicted to it. I really do.
Easily. Yeah.
I really do.
Agreed.
So I have to, like, not do that. The other thing I'm, completely obsessed with right now, so I play the New York Times games, they got the Wordle and the whatever.
Uh-huh.
I'm completely obsessed with the mini, which is the mini crossword puzzle. It's only like, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's like 8 or 10 puzzles to solve,
Okay.
down and up, whatever. I am completely obsessed with it. And so now I have bought the subscription to the New York Times games so that I can go
Mhm.
back and play all the old minis that go back to like 2016. So that's all I'm doing is
Oh,
playing mini crossword puzzles.
you're gonna be busy.
And I'm going to be real busy. It's going to take me a long
Mhm.
time, but I kind of feel like that's better for my brain than TikTok, right? It's better than
Oh,
at
most
least
definitely, yes. It's
solving
way
problems.
better.
Yeah. Keeping
Yeah,
my
I
brain young
agree.
and fresh.
When I first got diagnosed with lupus, I used to do crossword puzzles all the time because
Yeah.
you could kind of feel you would get brain fog all the time, and your brain just kind of was wonky. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I'm going having dementia. You kind of like feel like you're losing it a little bit. So that would
Yeah.
help me through. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I,
And
I
now
feel
here I
real
am with
dumb when I,
you.
yeah, right. Look at us. I
Yeah.
feel real dumb when I do crossword puzzles though. Dave's parents have always
Really?
been super into crossword puzzles, but they're like the New York Times, like really hard ones. And
Mm.
I need the only thing I'm good for is pop culture stuff. They'll be like, Mary
I
Payne,
know. Yeah.
what's the last name of somebody who's the producer for Love After Lockup? I'm like,
Yeah.
Sharp, SHARP. They're like,
That's
oh, that works.
so even Skylar comes to me for pop culture news.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "I didn't hear about that because you didn't tell me about it." I'm like, "Damn it, aren't you young? You're supposed to know these
Oh,
things already."
my 20-year-old will try to stump me with information. She'll come on and be like, "Did you hear?" I'm like, "Yes,
Yes,
duh,
we
2 days
heard. Yeah.
ago. Come
We hear it
on."
all. Yeah, you never have to DM us and say, "Hey, did you hear or did you know about?" Because we
Mm.
be knowing. We be
I just
knowing.
put the
As my daughter
thumbs
would say.
up. Yep, we know Asante is dead. Yep. Yep.
You're
Um,
I go to a whole thing. Oh yeah, I saw that. Da, 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 da. I don't know if I could just do a thumbs up.
I said, "Thanks," or "Yes." Sometimes I say, "Yes, I saw it." But let me ask you, so I don't know if you watched the screener on the, Friday night feed because I'm wondering if they're still putting up,
Yes, yeah,
in
I
memory
watched
of.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch the screener, then I have to watch it on Friday nights. It's just part of the
Yeah.
week. But yeah, they're gonna do it all season.
Okay.
I'm
All right. Well, so
convinced.
they yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
like I said, if somebody's tuning in and they're like, "Let me watch this," and then they just do a quick Google on these people, then they'll be like, "Oh, this one guy's dead." I wonder if they know. Maybe I should tell them.
Oh
Yeah, they know.
god, yeah, you're right. You're right
Yeah,
about
they
that.
know.
Yeah.
They know.
Mhm.
All right, well, let's get started. So we've got Love After Lockup, season 5, episode 3, the 40K felon.
The
So then I was
40.
like, who does that have to do with? But I guess it has to do with Red, right? With
Yeah, and
J-
Joynomi.
Joy.
Joynomi.
I'm probably going to call her Joy. But
Yeah.
all I know is she had a lot of sisters, and more
A
sisters
shit
kept
ton.
appearing. I was like, "What? How many sisters you got, girl?"
So
Yeah.
there's this rap song by DMX where he just constantly throws out girls' names like Felicia, Tanya. That's her and her sisters, Joy, Crystal, Michelle, Lakeisha. Yeah, and I think I forgot one, but those are the real names. I'm like, God damn. Like,
They
is there
got
like
a
a
lot.
troop of you guys?
There's a
Yeah.
lot of them. Did DMX, did he die?
American, yes, yes, a few years ago. Stop. Let's just
Okay,
continue with the
all
show.
right.
You're gonna
Sorry,
get you're gonna get DMs about that shit.
y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Up in here. See,
Mm-hmm.
now he's DMX saying that song.
But you took away a little bit of your street cred because you didn't know he died.
I just said, didn't he die? I was
Which
confirming.
it
It's
had a little
confirming.
it had like a tiny question mark on the
Yeah.
side of it, but there yeah, yeah, a
Did
couple of
he
years
die? He had like a heart attack or something, right? Like, it
from
just
like drug from what do you know my saying about drugs? Once you get to a certain age, there's certain drugs you can't use anymore. He didn't
okay.
follow those directions. Once you get to our age, it's just weed and Xanax. There's no
Yeah.
cocaine, there's no crack.
No.
No, no.
Mm-mm.
He didn't him and Coolio didn't listen to
I
me.
know. The Coolio thing is sad.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes,
it's
yes.
all sad. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's go into some sadness. Well, I think that this first couple, Melissa and Louie, I feel very positive and happy about their relationship. And
Mhm.
I think Louie is hot. It's going to be more hot when he gets his teeth fixed.
Yeah, and I am all for their misadventures with Cock Block Donna.
Cock block Donna. Yeah. Donna, by the way, she really loves a Miller Lite in a can and she really, really likes to drink the Miller Lite. Yeah.
When you have a koozie for your beer, you know that you partake in beer drinking more than a few times a day. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
and at one point, they showed a wide shot of the kitchen and kinda under the counter where, like, bar stools would be, it was, like, a
Yeah.
case of Miller Lite, a case of Coke, and some waters, and that's what they were drinking. She had a Miller Lite, he had a Coke, and then Melissa had water.
Melissa at the water.
She's really, hanging on to that cheerleading
Yes.
outfit. So, I'll start with them, they're in the car leaving the prison, and mom is in the back eating chips. It's funny, there's, like, baby sister in the back, and mom says, "Yeah, listen, I'm gonna go tomorrow and, like, help you with your probation meeting." He's like, "No, you're not, mom, I'm 41. I'm gonna do it by myself, I don't need you to go with me." And Melissa goes, "That's right, that's the right mindset." And, mom's like, "I don't need you chiming in, sunshine." So funny.
And then she also said, so, okay, she did say something, and I had to agree with Donna a little bit. First of all, I love to eat chips in the car. I'm a chip girl. I love that. I was like, Donna, I'll be back there with you. But she said, well, you're not going to tell me everything the probation officer says. And she's
Right,
right.
right.
Yes. I would have been, in that moment, I was Donna, because I would have said the same thing to him. Because he's
Right.
not going to tell her
I
everything.
know. I agree with that, but also he is 41 and, he does need to learn to do things for himself. He does. He does.
He need a little help. It's his first
Well,
day.
so they get to the house and he says, yeah, like being at the house itself is triggering because,
Right.
he doesn't want to stay in Georgia. He wants to go up and start this new life and be with Melissa in New Jersey and all that.
Mhm.
And she goes, "You've got to tell your mom that after dinner, like, we're going to the hotel." And so mom walks in and goes, "What are you doing in here? What are you talking about? What's going on? Do you have shampoo? Where's your body wash? Do you have shampoo? What do you, where's your hair scrub? Where's this? Where's that?" And he's like, "Mom, I got it, mom." It is like he's like my 18-year-old son, like, "God,
Yeah.
mom." Yeah.
Because he, like, how old was he when he went in?
Well, he was 31, but I think he had been in and out on minor things before
All his
that.
life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he'd been in
Okay.
trouble since he was like 18. So, so she's, nagging him about the shampoo and stuff. And Melissa goes, "You're just gonna have to like let him make a decision on his own. Like he can take his own shower." So the next thing we see is he showered, thank God, and they sit down to eat. And he's like, "I'm so happy, to have my mom's food. Like, even if it
Yeah.
wasn't great, it'd be great because it's better than Meatloaf Monday, like you said."
Right.
And, mom's just got Miller Lite in her koozie. She's committed. And I just was like, God, that's some funny shit. Like, can you imagine sitting down with like a homemade, delicious Italian dinner and your beverage is a Miller Lite? It just didn't even
No.
go together. It's
No.
just yuck. It's like if you're going to drink something, let's get some red wine or something.
Well, I was really confused on the fact that there was, the red gravy and the big meatballs. Those meatballs
Yeah.
look so good. Were
Yeah.
on the stove, sizzling hot. But yet, when we see all of them, they're eating dry noodles. There's no
But
red sauce. There's no meatballs. They're just.
it seems like that she put the noodles on the table and was sort of like, get your noodles and then go over to the stove and get whatever sauce you want.
But they didn't do that.
But it was I think it's just the way they were filming. They were like, "We're gonna sit here and have this conversation, probably we'll eat later." I don't know. All I know is mom needed some more bread to soak up those Miller Lights that she had been pounding.
Well, she didn't even open up the sliced bread she had on the table. I'm like, God, yeah, I mean, couldn't splurge for a little bit of garlic bread, a little bit of
That's what I
French
was
bread, rolls,
yeah.
perhaps. It's just sliced bread. Like,
That's what I was thinking too. I was like,
okay,
"Slice that up. You could zhuzh it
yeah,
up with some butter and some garlic and some
yeah.
Parmesan. That's
She's
what we do
like,
at this
just get
house."
it out whenever you want to slice. Just get it out. It's like,
Oh my god. So, Louie talks to his mom and goes, "Mom, listen, I think you're feeling some kind of way because you think Melissa's taking all my attention. And I get it,
mhm,
Mom. I get it." And so she starts crying and she's like, "I've taken care of you for 10 years. And I do feel like you're pushing me aside from Melissa." And she's
mhm.
like, "I lost my dad and now I'm afraid I'm going to lose you too," which, we don't know. Did she lose her dad like while he's been in prison? And so
I'm
it's like a
thinking
lot of
so.
loss. Yeah.
Hmm.
And he goes, What, how are you going to lose me? Like, I'm here, like, I'm doing fine. And he's like, "I'm in great shape mentally and physically." And she's like, "I'm just so worried about you going back." He goes, "In the last 5 years, I've had so many opportunities to go back to drugs. And I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm not choosing that road." And from his Instagram, he looks like he's very into like, hashtag sober
Work.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully he
And
says something, but she has the right to be nervous. He's
of
saying all
course,
these big things, but he hasn't been out of jail 24 hours.
right. Yeah.
You
It's not the
know?
first time she's heard all this.
No. Mm-mm.
So mom's like, I just, I just want you to move on with your life and I want everything to be good for you. And Melissa goes, well, you have a funny way of showing it. Like, I'm only here for this 1 week and then you're going to get him for the
Right.
rest of the time, whatever the parole
Yeah.
is. So then they start, talking about the food again. And he goes, I'm going to take some of this food to go because it's so good. I'm going to take it to the hotel. And mom goes, no, I don't think so. And he goes, Mom, we're going to go spend the night at the hotel. And she goes, no, it's safer for you just to be here because you don't know what the probation officer wants from you. He could show
Mhm.
up here. He could walk in the middle of the night. Like they're allowed to do
Mhm.
that. This is my house.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, Mom. He's like, you sound crazy. And she's like, I don't want to hear any more shit out of you. You're staying home. Ah, give me my Miller Lite. And then she like crushes it on her head. So she's lit. She's lit. And
Yes, she
she
is.
she puts on her house coat and scoots
No,
in
that
there
was a
where
moo That was a whole moo she had on, okay? After she told Melissa she could sleep on the damn couch and threw like a quilt and a flat pillow on the couch for her to have.
it was so fun.
Like,
But
damn,
Melissa
Donna.
lays down on the couch. She's still in her full face of makeup and that
Yeah.
cheer outfit. Like she didn't even bring her suitcase in, you
No,
know?
because they were leaving.
They were leaving. And so mom goes in and like tucks Louie in. So Louie's like sitting there reading a book, like he's like 5.
Fake reading.
Yeah. And then they go to Melissa on the couch. She goes, we've been waiting for this all day. And the minute she goes to sleep, like we're out of here, which is
I
what
don't blame them.
I don't blame them either.
Did you
But
notice that Donna has a liking of wild cats?
oh, no, I
Yeah.
didn't notice that.
She
Does
had
she have
lots of tigers and I want to say maybe cougars. There was a lot of figurines and there's something hanging
Oh,
over a bed. I'm like, okay, she
yeah.
likes big cats. All right.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, when they showed Melissa going to pick her up at her house, they showed the front window, which had some little tiger figurines like climbing over some
Yeah.
bonsai trees. Yeah.
Yeah. She likes that.
Interesting.
She's about that life. Yeah.
Well, now we know what to get her for her birthday. That's what she collects.
Oh, yes.
All right. So we have a new couple and it's Joynomi and Redd. Now, you
Oh,
said you had some
boy.
information on these two. Let's hear it.
First, let me say this is gonna end bad. It's already sad. I don't know. So I did a little bit of Instagram snooping, and I found her page and Red's page, which he's not active on it at all. But I
Mhm.
noticed she has her name, her maiden name, and then hyphenated with his last name.
Okay.
But there's only one picture of him on her page, and that's from like it's a prison picture from I want to say April, and then that's it.
Oh.
See
Oh.
nothing else. Yeah. But she's not very active on there either. It looked like the closer it got to the show coming on, she
Uh-huh.
started posting a little bit more. Yeah.
But wait. So it was a picture of prison of them together from April?
No, just him.
Just
Just
him.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
just like here's a
Mhm.
picture of my boyfriend. Isn't he cute?
Exactly. I think it said something about my sexy man or I love him. It's the typical prison babe
Yeah.
shit that they put on there when they're posting their felons. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All
So
right.
we'll see if they're really married or is she just one of those girls that just changes her name to the boyfriend's
Because
last name.
here's your
Lots of girls
dad.
do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's your
I
dad.
know.
Here's your
Yeah,
dad.
that wasn't cute.
So we meet her. She's 29. She's a medical assistant, and we find out her
Mhm,
man is Redd, Redd. He's 30. He's in for 10 years for first degree robbery.
mhm.
So we meet her as she's with her son. He's riding his little tricycle. His name
So
is
cute.
s5e, S-W-A-E-E, s5e,
Mhm.
and he's 3. And oh, he was cute. Cute, cute,
Very
cute,
cute,
cute, cute.
baby. Yes. And I don't say kids are cute just because they're kids.
Oh,
I'll
I
find
do.
other ways to compliment them. No, he's just really cute.
But he
Yeah.
was cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's saying, to Sway, like, guess what? It's so exciting because dad's coming home and we only have 2 bedrooms. What do you think we should do? And he goes, well, he could sleep on the couch. He goes, no, he's going to sleep in the room with me and then you get your own room. And so I wonder if she's telling him that because his kid's been sleeping with her this whole time. And she's like
Probably
trying to
so.
let him know, like, hey, you're about to get your own room.
Right.
Sway's like, not about that.
She,
Nope.
she kind of reminds you of those type of women that would breastfeed a kid till they're like 12. So- She just had that look about her. Like there was something about her. Like that's her comfort right there. Is the
Oh
little
my
voice.
god.
So
Oh my god. So she tells us she is full Navajo and she did grow up on the reservation. She met Red through a guy that she was friends with named Darren, and she met Red 7 years ago. She's never been to visit him in person. He's been on visit restriction, and she's dated guys in the past, but mostly she meets them online because she likes to wake up in the morning and see like 5 good mornings. But this is now, she's just dating the one guy. So,
well, first of all, that guy was not her friend. Because if you're my friend, you're not going to introduce me to a person who's doing time to date.
right.
Like that
Right.
dude's not your friend. And I don't think that man in all 7 years he's been in prison has been on visit restrictions the whole time.
The whole time.
The whole
Right.
entire time. But that she looks like the type that would fall for some shit like that.
Well,
She
we can
really
even
does.
take 2 years out for COVID, then we still got 5 years
Yeah.
that she could have gone.
The math
Oh,
ain't math in Joynomi.
mm-mm.
What is Joynomi?
Joy know me.
Joynomi. Okay.
Well, so now her sisters come over. We got Crystal, Michelle, and Lakeisha. Those are the 3
Mm-hmm.
sisters. And I just am every time I'm referring to them, I'm going to say a sister because I don't know who's who, which is which. It's a lot of sisters.
Well, we know one of them. I think her name is Crystal because she's got those Sharpie eyebrows that literally there's an inch in between how she drew them on her face. You
I
didn't
didn't.
notice that?
I mean, I did, but
How? How
I'll
did
have
you
to
not
study it. I'll
notice
have to
that?
study it. I was trying to take notes and I only watched it once, and usually I try to watch it twice, but I just didn't have time
Oh
this
man,
weekend.
they were
We were
something.
we were busy with John's homecoming stuff, and we just
Oh,
didn't have to. Okay,
that's
so
why
I
you
didn't have
have
a chance.
me. I noticed.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
You're
Yeah.
gonna if there's some bad eyebrows, you're gonna notice. Yeah,
Oh yeah. And they
you're
were
just like
bad.
me with teeth. So Crystal, Michelle, and Lakeisha come over, and I'm just calling her Joy now. And Joy
Mhm.
says, "Yeah, I'm excited to go pick him up. It's exciting, but I am worried about him seeing me in person. I guess she feels like maybe she's overweight and she doesn't want to disappoint him. But he has seen her on. She's been able to send videos and stuff, and we see all the pictures that look a little filtered as you do. But
And
she
they're from
is,
that angle that doesn't particularly show your full size.
yeah,
And I will tell you, one of her sisters was like, "Aren't you nervous about what he's gonna think when he sees you?" I'm like, "God damn, I am
I,
nervous, but bitch, you ain't got to mention it." Like
I
her
know
sister
that was
kept
rude.
saying it while she's back there getting ready to feed Joy's child a cold wiener. I don't know if you
Yeah,
caught that part.
I did. I was
It's
like, what's
very
happening?
odd.
Yeah,
Yeah, a cold
hopefully
wiener.
microwave it, something.
No, it
So
wasn't. He ate it
it,
cold.
he says, she says, well, he's seen videos of me and stuff, and he tells me I'm beautiful, so I'm just gonna, believe that. And I just think that when we get together, it'll be like a fairy tale, but everything's
Ugh.
not a fairy tale. I know there's gonna be issues. And the sisters were like, yeah.
Yeah,
So they said, well, when's the last time you talked to him? She goes, oh, about 4 weeks.
that's
4
crazy.
weeks?
That's
And
a long time.
the sister goes, yeah, he's always in the hole for fighting. Like that should worry you. He's always in the hole for fighting, or he says he is, whatever.
I mean, 4 weeks, I mean, you could have sent a pigeon with a note to him in prison, and it
Somebody
could
could
have
have
gotten
walked
there
it over.
sooner. Yeah, 4 weeks. I'm like, "Okay, red
Uh,
flag, red flag."
so she says 4 years into their relationship, because I was like, now they've been together 7 years. This
Mhm.
kid is 3. She's never
Right.
seen him in person. Hmm. So she says 4 years into the relationship, she cheated on him and she had s5e. The
Mhm.
father doesn't know that s5e even exists. So she didn't even tell this dude. So
Why?
it- I I always feel weird about that because if you think the guy's like a deadbeat, not at least give him a chance to say he's a deadbeat, right?
Well, she's dating a deadbeat. She wants a
Right.
deadbeat to be his dad, who's not even his biological father. I mean,
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
that's very odd. That's
Yeah. She goes, the
weird.
father of him doesn't even know he exists, but Red wants to raise him as his own child. And I'm just like so lucky that Red feels this way.
Gotta
Hmm.
show him some fighting skills because
It's
he seems to like
right.
to fight a lot.
And
Jeez.
um, and then in the talking head, Red says, yeah, we've been together 7 years, and she did 4 years ago cheat on me and have a child. And I really think we have to sit down and have a dinner and talk about these things. We're not going to run from our problems. We're really going to talk about it and all this.
Is that really cheating though? I'm in the free world.
I don't
You
know
know what I
how it's
mean?
cheating. You've never even seen each other in person. How's it
They've never
cheating?
touched or any. anything at all. Like, I was free. I'm sorry you're locked up, but I still have a life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So now it's 5 days away from his release, and she's in the car with yet another sister whose name is
Yes.
Shoshana. So we got
Yes.
5 sisters so far,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
If we see another one next week, I'm just gonna fall out. I'm like, "Ha what?" Yeah,
I think you should prepare to fall out because I just feel like there's another sister.
at
Why
least.
stop at 5? Even it out and have 6 right there. I don't know.
God
Maybe there's a
bless it.
junior. Maybe there's a boy somewhere.
And they're all like, "We all wanna get on TV." So,
Right.
so Shoshana says, she says, "We're going to this pawn shop." She has this basket, she has some
Mhm.
jewelry, she has this blanket. And so it looks to me to be a pawn shop that has a lot of, like, Native American
Yes.
specific stuff. So her stuff obviously is very authentic. So she takes it in and she's showing this bracelet, and her sister goes, "Grandma gave you that. Like, you're gonna pawn that?"
Oh,
She goes,
man.
"Yeah, like, I don't wear it. I don't need it. And it's sad, but
Mhm.
I need $500. I don't have $500." So of course I'm like, "You're a medical assistant, so you're not like making nothing, right?"
Well, you know what I was thinking, right?
What?
I'm like, girl, you need to get in touch with Jade and find out what tribe her husband's from so you can become a member and get that $12,000 that, some of that casino money because that was
Right.
actually that was sad, but not as sad as the amount of money she spent on Red.
Yeah, Joy
That
didn't
pissed
she
me
didn't have
off.
that she didn't have that sweet, sweet casino money. Mm-mm. She's gotta sell grandma's
No.
blankets.
Yeah.
So she says, "Yeah, I don't have $500 right now, and I need $500 so I can go to Missouri to go get him."
Mhm.
And then they ask her how much money has she spent on him. Now, given the situation where she didn't have the $500 having to pawn shit, I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, she's gonna be like, oh, 7 years, I probably spent like $10,000." Like, that's what
Mhm.
I was thinking. She said 40,000, and that would be at least, like, definitely probably about 40,000 or more on him.
She could have bought a house
Right.
with
Yeah.
that money.
She
I
says
mean,
she sent him money she had to go without if her phone was cut off, she didn't have Wi-Fi, didn't have electricity. If she had to go without for a few days, she made sure with every paycheck, every, income tax, everything, she always made sure he got paid.
I wonder when she watches this, is she gonna realize how stupid she is?
I
Because
hope.
I'm not you went without a phone, you have a child, and you're going without a phone for a few days so you can send someone in prison money?
Right. And what's he doing?
No.
So he could buy some ramen
Nothing.
noodles or chat with
And
other
fighting?
other fight with other ladies?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that is most and then when for her to say, "I have to go get him, I cannot afford to go get him," where is his family? Can they not go get him and drop him off to you?
right.
Why do you have to I think these women are afraid they're gonna go with somebody else and
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I gotta be there. I
Mhm.
gotta be the first person he sees when he comes out, or he's gonna go with, like, the first lady that pulls up in a car. Yeah.
Yeah, mhm.
So she says, "I know that when he gets out, he's gonna take good care of me and Sway, and he's gonna help pay those bills." How? How? He don't have a job. How?
He's gonna start a fight club.
Fight Club every Friday night.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
that's funny. So, her sister goes, "You know nothing about this guy really, and he could be a whole different person when he gets out. And what if he gets out and, like, you've sold all this stuff and none of it was even
Mhm.
worth it?" And the
Yeah.
lady comes out and goes, "Okay, we'll take your offer. We'll give you $500." It's
I
like,
think she coulda got more. Me and James were watching that, he's like, "He shoulda never told her a price because she came back too quick with that 500." I think
I
she coulda
thought so
gotten
too.
more. Yeah.
She should have said 800, and then maybe she would have gotten like 700. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she shouldn't
well.
have given a
Mm-mm,
price.
mm-mm. Nope.
All right, now let's go on to your favorite, Andy. Andy and Brittany. All right.
Oh, boy.
Stranded at the drive-in, branded a fool. What will they
Yeah.
say? Monday at school. He's just standing out, stranded at the drive-in, standing outside with Barry while the
Yeah,
party goes on. You can't meet them. She slammed the door in his face. But now she comes
man.
out. Brittany comes out with Gracie. And Gracie goes, "I'm going to go with my friend." She's like, "Okay, like, call me later. Goodbye." So Brittany says, "The party was amazing. It was so much fun. My son Peyton was so happy to see me and tell me about everything
Mhm.
he's doing. And I got to spend time with all my kids, and that made me feel whole. It made me feel happy."
Of
And
course.
He's like, "What have y'all been doing out here?" He's like, "Oh, we just been hanging out. We're listening to some music, just chewing the fat, holding up this wall, waiting on you." It's like, God. Why did he have to go? We don't understand.
But I fault her because he didn't have a clue that he wasn't going to be included in the birthday party. How
Mm-mm.
fucking rude. You asked me to bake a cake for your son and I can't even have a slice? Did you bring me
No.
a slice of some foil or anything like that?
She should have
I don't
halfway through the party, she should have run out a slice to him. I agree.
yeah, I don't like Brittany. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, and it's hard too because you don't wanna be on the side of Andy. I just think there's no winner here. There's no winner. Everybody's a loser.
She's doing a lot of wrongs. I'll say that.
Yeah. So she says to Andy, she's like, "I'm just so tired, I just hadn't slept because I was so excited about today, and can we just stay here, whatever town that is, instead of going back to Rome?" And, he goes, "Alright, yeah, what you want me to do?" And she goes, "Can we just get a hotel room?" He goes, "Alright." And she goes, "So,
He was
we have to."
hesitant.
He
He
didn't
was
want to.
well, for one thing, she keeps switching the plans, but she's not even thinking maybe he can't afford to spend money
Yeah,
on 2 more rooms for a night. That's why I don't she's not very considerate of
yeah, yeah. I think
Andy, and
so.
I hate that I just said those words. She wasn't very considerate of Andy and his feelings.
She could tell he's just a complete sucker pushover and will do whatever
Yeah,
she says. So she's already taken advantage of it. So she
yeah.
is like, "Well, there's only one hotel, so let's go to that." So he comes out. So he goes into the hotel to get the rooms, and
Mhm.
she's standing out there with Barry. And she says to Barry, "I really appreciate you coming. And I'm sure your sisters don't want to meet me, but I'm glad that you came. And I'm sure the girls probably worry about my past lifestyle because of what y'all been through and Andy getting drug into it. But I promise you, that's not my goal. That's not what I'm going to do." And Barry is very sweet. He's like,
Yes.
I'm sure my sisters will want to meet you one day. They just got to warm up to the idea." And he says he's really glad he met her and they seem in love.
Well,
Barry,
I
I
like the
don't know
part
about
when
that.
she's like, "I'm sure your sisters think I'm gonna scam your dad." I'm like, I'm willing to bet they are hoping you scam their dad. They are hoping you treat their dad like complete shit and leave him on the side of a damn road and steal his car. Those
Yeah.
girls are not a fan of their dad at all.
No, no. So Andy comes back. Is like, "Here we go. Room 318, 320. Here you go, Barry. Live it up in there. You don't have to sleep on the pull-out couch. You got your own bed in your own room."
Right?
So he says he has waited 8.5 months to be with her, and they do have sexual tension. So they
Mm.
walk in the room, and she goes, "Okay, there's two beds." You're talking head. She goes, "No matter what, however we talk to each other, this whole thing is like super awkward, right? Super awkward."
They're making it awkward for us.
Yes, it's awkward. The whole thing's
Yeah,
awkward.
yeah. We're not being entertained. We are feeling complete awkwardness and kind of waiting for the next scene, the next couple, because it's just like,
It's full
oh,
cringe. It's full
okay.
cringe.
Yeah.
So then it's the next day and we're talking head. She goes, "Yeah, last night was weird. It was a big turn off. I was trying to sleep and he was just like all over me, trying to touch me and grab me. And I've got so much on my mind. Like, this is the last thing I need." I was like, "Well, I wonder what you've been telling him is going to happen on your first night together."
Exactly. And she's been filling him up with things she's going to do when she gets out and things they're going to do. And again, I felt a little bit bad for Andy.
I know. And that takes a lot.
That takes and it's becoming a weekly thing now, and I don't like it at all. I'm just a little bit tired of it.
So they ask him about it and he says, "No, we were not intimate." And it was off-putting. It was off-putting.
Oh
So
boy.
then Gracie calls Brittany and says, "What are you doing?" And Brittany goes, "Well, we're going to head to Rome. So I'd love to see you. I'd love for you to come by and spend a little time with me." And Gracie just gets like super upset. And she says,
Hmm.
"This whole situation with you, Mom, has been like, post trauma situation for me. And when you told me yesterday when they were in the hotel room and Mom said, I've leaned on you and you've been my rock and and I'm not leaving this time." And she says, "When you said all that stuff in the room, that really upset me because that just showed me that that no matter what you do to me, that I'm always going to have your back." And I mean, I think her saying that to Gracie made Gracie be like, "Now, wait a minute.
I've
Why are
heard
you
this
always
before.
dependent on me?" Yeah, I've heard this
Yeah.
before, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And Brittany's like, "I think you heard all that wrong. I was just trying to tell you how grateful I am for you." And then Gracie
Hmm.
just cries and she says, like, "I don't know, like, I feel like I need to take a nap." And she goes, "Well, why don't you take a nap and then will you come over here?" And she says, "Yeah." And her talking head, Brittany goes, "I'm ready to talk through everything and be there for Gracie. Like, I know it's really hard for her. Gracie's been through a lot, but I really want her to know I'm here for her."
Hmm.
Brittany goes, "I'll just wait all day for you to come, and when you get here, we'll get together and we'll have a girls' day or whatever." I was like, "What time is it? 9 in the morning? Is it noon? Like, how long is the drive? Like, what are we talking about here?"
Well, they're still in the same town that they had the party in, and once again,
Right.
here she is making plans and just forgetting about Andy.
Right. I mean, he does have to get home at some point. And so
Yeah,
does
I
Barry.
mean,
So does Barry, by the way.
because I think Barry's still school age, isn't he? Like
Yeah.
17 or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like the things she's doing.
So Brittany says to the producer, she was like, when I had stress in my life before, I'd always fall back on using drugs. And everybody in the whole family, I know that they're all just thinking I'm going to do that. And they're all just waiting for me to fail. And I really want to prove them wrong. But I feel like, with the stress, I've walked out of one prison into another and I feel like I'm suffocating. So I
Well,
don't feel like she got a lot of
support.
tools. Yeah, tools and support to use for her addiction. It seems like
I
she
don't
doesn't know how
know.
to handle it.
She's saying that, she knows that her family's just waiting on her to fail, but wait till they get a load of Andy. They're going to be like, "You failed, bitch. You have failed." So
Bless.
I don't know. Good luck to them.
I don't know either. And that poor Gracie is just so like right on the edge of a mental breakdown. Like, let that girl take a nap.
She is. Yes, she most definitely is. I'm like, she needs some warm cocoa and a fluffy pillow and a Netflix series to watch because she's about to lose it.
I wonder if these kids have any kind of like grandmother or any kind of like sweet woman in their life that's taking care of them. But it seems like no. It
I
seems
don't
like
think
no.
so either.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so let's move on to Chelsea and Mikey. We got just a little bit of them this week. She's going to get him in LaGrange, Kentucky.
Hmm.
She checks into our hotel. She calls her friend Beth, and she's like, "I really hope the kids like Mikey, especially Trevor. He really needs a father figure." I'm like, okay, I hate
So
this.
why do they do this? These men don't even half of them don't even know that you can start a car with just a button now. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Hmm.
you want them to immediately come home and be a dad. Like they don't know who the fuck they are. And
Right.
like
They're going to
I
try to be in a
can't stand
relationship
it.
and a parent. Yeah, and a parent.
Yeah, they don't know how to take care of themselves. I'm like, why do they immediately want them to be dads? Like,
Yeah, I don't
shit.
know.
Put
I don't
these
know.
children in after school programs, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, shit, Girls Club, Boys
Uh,
Club, or something like that. This is not it.
I know. We
It's
see it time and time again. We see it
yep.
90 Day Fiance too. We see it time and time again. Here's your dad. Like, what?
Uh,
So she tells us that she's been in many abusive relationships and people
mm-hmm,
take advantage of her because she's deaf. And because of her past, she's scared to get close to somebody. She's scared of having sex. She hasn't told Mikey too much about her past relationships because she doesn't want to scare him away or push him away. And she hopes he's going to have the patience to wait on having sex.
oh boy,
Spoiler alert, he's probably not. So
probably not.
he drives up, he gets out of the a prison van or truck or whatever, and she leaps
Mhm.
on him and they hug. And he says, "She's so beautiful." And they're just talking about how much they love each other and they're just overwhelmed and they hug and they kiss. And he has his keyboard, like Montana
Yeah.
Mills had his,
So he got
his
locked up with a
keyboard.
keyboard too.
You got a
What
keyboard.
are the chances? I guess maybe he's gonna drop some beats too, and maybe he could collab with Montana Mills and
I
Cam, and they
know.
can drop a new EP. I'm ready
I
for it.
know. So he says, growing up, he stole cars, and
Mhm.
he quickly got into a criminal lifestyle because he never had a dad. His dad died when he
Yeah.
was young, and that put him into a criminal lifestyle.
Mhm.
We see the flash with his mom and everything. And he
Right.
says this last incarceration that he had was because he stole a car, but he also it was like it sounded like money laundering and all sorts of
Right.
stuff. And
Yeah.
he says he had a 16-year sentence, served 4, will be on
Wow.
parole for 6.5 years. And he just knows that Chelsea's the one for him. And he really knew it when he saw a house in Sear and worried that she was when he had
Mhm.
that stroke. And we see the mom and
Right.
everything. And he says he's going to protect her and be there for her. He's going to be her ride or die. And they talk in the car and he's showing her some sign language and
Mhm.
he tells the producers are asking like how much he loves her and stuff. And he says, yeah, he goes, yeah, I mean, I learned a lot from watching her on the visits, but also from books, but it's going to be different in the real world. I'm going to be using
In a
the sign language.
conversation. Yeah.
And he says, "But yeah, I mean, of course I did. I mean, what would you do for love? Learn a new language, of course," which was sweet.
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 I need
So
for
far, I don't
ReTV.
hate him so far.
No, this is all about production, what I'm going to say.
Oh, okay.
We all know Chelsea is deaf. What we
Yeah.
don't need for you to do is whenever she passes by something with sound, do the underwater sound. Because they
I
did it
do.
again.
Like, whoosh. They do that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And they also really emphasize whenever she starts to talk,
Mhm.
the sound when she opens her mouth. I don't know if you've ever
Ah.
noticed it. It's always a, yeah.
Yes, yes, they do
They
that sound,
emphasize that
yeah.
a lot. I'm like, she's deaf. We get it. Like this is our second season with her. We
Yeah.
don't need all that extra Matt Sharp. Just work on the number of situations with the episodes. Let's keep
Well,
that going.
I
Let's
will
focus
tell
on
you
that.
I will tell you that, on 90 Day, the guy on
Mm,
there that's deaf, and then he
mm.
had the girl from the Philippines, and like I said, she had to learn American Sign Language, but she already speaks Tagalog, and then she's gotta, like speaks English, and then it's gotta translate that into sign
That's a
language.
lot.
But she was towards the end of his trip there, I think he was there for 2, 3 weeks, she was doing it more because he was like, "We're not gonna text anymore. I need you to
Oh,
talk to me, like, in my language."
okay.
Which
Yeah.
is interesting too when you see him, Instagram and stuff.
Mm.
The way he writes things out, it's as if he does not speak English. It's as if English is not
Oh,
his first language, because obviously American
well,
Sign Language is his first language.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
interesting.
That's interesting.
But the
Huh.
way he learned English, it's like he barely has like a 5th grade education, the way you know what I mean? But he's obviously
Right.
a grown man that knows how to speak English. It's interesting the way he types his stuff on Instagram that you didn't see when you saw him on the show. So
Okay.
I don't this whole thing is interesting. I'd love to but lots of
It is.
people in the deaf community and speech pathologists and stuff have reached out and talked
Mhm.
about this quite a bit. And they said it's very common for parents not to ever learn sign language when they have
But
deaf kids.
I
Can you believe
cannot
that?
believe
I
that.
can't
I just cannot believe that.
yeah,
Like,
it's terrible.
I mean, I
Terrible.
had to learn every Justin Bieber song whenever Skylar was going through that phase. I've learned all about the Biebs. Like every phase my kid goes through, I learned all about it. Like your kid has been deaf since childhood, and it just never dawned on you. Perhaps I
Yeah,
should learn this.
right.
That is weird as fuck to me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, that's just like Mikey, like, what would you do for love? You could learn a different language, so he's learned a different
Yeah,
language. I mean, what would you do for your kid? Learn a different
learn
language,
a
you would
different
think.
language. Yeah, I apparently we're wrong, real
Apparently,
wrong.
we're just good people, Keisha,
Who love our children and
who
want
love our children.
and like to communicate with them. I mean, not sometimes I don't.
Right.
Sometimes I wish I didn't hear some of the shit that comes out of her mouth. But
Mhm,
I
mhm,
mean, but still, I would learn a different language for her.
mhm.
I would
Yeah,
do
same.
that. Yeah.
You guys, do you have little ones in your house? Little Spoon has something for all size baby. They've got little babies all the way up to toddlers. Little Spoon is a one-stop shop for healthy, easy meals and snacks for little babies, toddlers, and big kids. And it is delivered right to your door, which is something we all need these days. There are the baby blends, which is obviously baby food. There are biteables, which is like a transition to finger food, you know, when the kids are going from one thing to the other. Then there's platables, which are toddler and big kid meals. And then there's the smoothies that come in those cute little pouches. So I had some Little Spoon sent to my nephew, James, sweet baby James. He's so adorable. I've got 2 more babies coming in my family soon, but I digress. Anyway, James agreed to be a taste tester. He's super picky, and his mom told me that he loved the plates. He especially loved the mac and cheese. The mac and cheese has hidden veggies. Don't tell James. And he also loved the strawberry banana shake smoothie. I mean, that sounds good to me, let's be honest. Little Spoon makes everything fresh and uses absolutely nothing artificial. It's just like homemade, all delivered to your door and ready in seconds. Pop your meals in the fridge or the freezer when they arrive and then use them when you're ready. It's that easy. You guys think about like after school or at that witching hour at like 5:30 and you got to quickly make dinner and you've got screaming toddlers and babies. I've been there and I really, really wish Little Spoon was a thing during that time of my life. It totally could have helped me. From the baby food all the way to the big plates, it ranges from $3 to $7 a meal. And again, if this was around when I had Anna and John, it would have helped me a lot. I wouldn't have had to like walk around with John and a baby Bjorn while I was trying to make dinner while Anna was like throwing blocks in my head. It just would have been great. So make this year's back to school chaos a little more manageable and time saving, delicious and healthy with meals and snacks your kids will love. You're going to go to littlespoon.com/pink shade. Enter our code, which is pink shade. When you enter that, you're going to get 30% off. Y'all, that's a lot. So Little Spoon, LITTLESPOON.com/pink shade and enter our code pink shade for 30% off at checkout. And let me know if your kids like it. All right, let's go to Raneka and Asante. Asante has passed away. R.I.P. We know. So the PI is there.
Wait a minute.
Casey.
I'm going to hell for 5 minutes for laughing at that.
I'm sorry. We got to say it. We know.
Yeah, you
know.
do.
So the PI named Casey calls Auntie direct. So Auntie, so he does some tricky, right? He says,
Yes.
"Oh, hey, I'm calling from the front desk. I see that today is your checkout day." And she goes, "No, I'm here till March 1st." He goes, "Oh, okay. So it's February 11th. You're there till March 1st. All right."
That's a long time.
Yeah, I was like, "You're at that Sonesta Suites for a long time."
Yeah.
And then he says, "But didn't Auntie said she was cooking? Is she cooking at the Sonesta Suites? She got hot plates?
Maybe they have like a little kitchenette. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's true.
For the shrimp, steak, and salad.
That's right. That's where she's got to make that food. So he says, "Oh, and how's everything going up there? You need towels or sheets or anything?" And she goes, "Yeah, I need sheets and towels." He goes, "For one or for two?" So she says, "For two." And he goes, "How's your friend that's been there?" So, "Oh, he's fine." So I was like, this is a pretty good trick. Pretty good trick.
Till it backfired.
And then Casey is telling Raneka, he's like, "Look, I'm finding this stuff out. Like Asante, he's not even from Atlanta. He's like from the mountains or something." And Raneka's like, "Oh, okay. He's not even from here. Well, this is deeper than just a woman. Like he's lying about everything. You got something else going on here."
Well, he just got out of prison. Of course he lies.
Yeah.
Prisons are usually filled with liars, Raneka.
Casey says, "Well, so what we need to do is I can set up and verify that he's at that hotel. But if we set up to do that to verify, I can't have you popping up out of the car ready to fight." Right. Okay. And she goes, "All right." And he goes, "I could also get the bond revoked and get your money back." And she's like, "Okay, well, I want to do both those things.
Now, how much are you willing to bet she does not get his bond revoked?
I think that'd be real hard to do.
It's not hard to get the bond revoked. You know how many episodes of Dog the Bounty Hunter I've watched? Every single episode 4 times. You can get the bond revoked.
You can. The person that gave the money can say, "I'd like my money back."
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know.
I didn't know.
I want to be off the bond. You don't no longer want to be responsible for this person. No, I'm done.
Okay. And they give you your money back?
Now, that part I don't know. I never saw them give the money back on Dog the Bounty Hunter because we're too much on the hunt. We focus on the hunt.
Okay.
But yeah, you can most definitely get it. I don't know how that would work with getting the money back.
I don't
But
either.
shit, just get a revolt so his ass has to go back to jail.
Yeah. This was interesting. I mean, I didn't know any of this. I've never heard of this getting the bond revoked. So, all right. So then he says, "All right, now I'm just going to take, Ray with me. Raneka, you can't go." Now we see this clip that I made a TikTok of because it was
Ray can't go.
Sorry, Ray can't go because he doesn't want to have to be worried about her if shit goes down.
And I think Ray was more than happy. She's like, "Let me get my purse."
She's like,
let
"Okay,
let me wrap up this pizza because I'm not about to get into this shit. And I don't blame her. No.
I don't either. So it's pretty funny. I made a TikTok about this because Raneka says, "I'm going to get my $3,000 and get on my way, baby. Like you thought you was ready to do with me? Who'd you think you was playing? Who you think is dumb, huh? I'm getting ready to show you some Miss Beep. Honey, Auntie." Then she sticks her tongue out.
Why did she say auntie like that?
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I don't know what accent she's trying. I'm like, is she trying to use a British accent? I don't, auntie. I don't. What is that?
I just think it's hilarious. I just think she's so funny.
She knows how to say auntie without auntie, auntie. And the
She's
whole
just
time, I'm like,
dramatic. Dramatic.
okay, well, I want her to dramatically pull down her shirt because it just kept going up and up and up. I'm like, pull it down, down, down.
The
Production, help
pop
her out
Yeah,
because,
when you have a shirt with those cups like that, and we
yeah,
see this on the new Real Housewives of New York, Sai, and one of her interview she's like a fashionista influencer.
yes,
One of her influencers, one of the cups are like not
yeah,
if you're gonna wear that, they need to go right where your boobies go.
yes, yes, yes. And they are going everywhere, everywhere else except for Raneka's boobs.
Yeah, and she's just pulling coats on and off. And Casey says, my gut here tells me that you were just a pretty face, and he knew that he could get money from you, and he used that retainer money to run. And
Yep.
so, all right, we're going to go do the surveillance. Ray, you stay here. And Ray says, that's fine. I don't want to be involved in any of this messy ass shit and sit outside of a hotel. And Raneka, don't get out of the car. Bye. She drives off.
Yeah, I'm not sitting outside of a hotel for somebody else's man. Now, I'll sit outside a hotel for my man so I can beat his ass if he comes out of it with another girl, but I'm not doing that for someone else. No, I'm sorry.
See, I would love it. I would love to be a PI. I would love to sit there and just watch something all day and wait for something to happen. There's a really good podcast I've been listening to that has these PI stories. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it is,
Mm.
if I think of it, I'll let you know. So we see production talking to Casey. They're all set up, and he's gotten this text, and his texts look like
Mm.
mine. They're in like 400 font
They
because
were
he's old.
big. They were huge. I'm like, damn. All
But
right.
that was good. So it was easy for us to read. And we see the text, and it says, I know you're playing on my phone, and I just told you what you wanted to hear because no one checks out of a hotel at this time. And on top of it, where I am, they don't bring you towels and sheets and washcloths to your room. So my phone reversed your block call. So just leave me alone. So I was like,
Okay, auntie.
okay.
All right.
So then we see Raneka walk up, and she's on the phone, and she is just yelling. And he's
Yeah.
saying, I'm trying to get my license and my social security. I'm trying to get my license and social security card. And she goes, I'm trying to get my life too. I'm trying to get my life too. And he goes, license, license, you dummy, license. And she
Like
says,
he's truly sick of her.
she goes, what the fuck does that have to do with me? What the fuck does any of
Yeah.
that have to do with me? So
Yeah.
I think he's like, I'm trying to get my social security card and my license, and you had all my paperwork. That's what he's trying to call her about. And she was like, she's not even putting it together.
Oh, I didn't put
Yeah.
that together either.
I
I
think
didn't get that.
she has
Yeah.
all this paper. He left it all at the house, I think.
Oh, I did not put that together. I did not think that's why he called at all.
And she's like, you just keep lying. You just pissing me off, bruh. And
Yeah.
then he hangs up. He hangs up, and she calls him back, and he's like, man. And she goes, and then you're going to hang up on me, bruh? Like you ain't been fucking with this bitch for 2 years, man. And he goes, man, you want some goofy shit. She goes, man, you want some goofy shit. Now you need to grow up. Oh, bitch, my phone went dead.
And she giggles at herself.
She laughed. She's right in the middle of a rant, a scream. She goes, oh, bitch, my phone went dead. And we see Casey over there. He loved it. He was laughing
She
so
did.
hard.
Yeah. They're the duo that we didn't think we needed.
I
Raneka
know.
and KC, So
Now
I
tell
told you
me,
that I was watching her live.
yeah, and you found out some shit on Raneka, so let's hear it.
So she's live on Instagram and y'all talking loud, just like she was talking to Asante on that phone call, right in the middle of Kroger. I'm like, this bitch is going down. I know what's on her grocery list because she's taking us down every aisle, checkout. She goes, did I get my discounts? Did you put the discounts on there? I guess from the little Kroger card or whatever.
Was she
And so
alone?
she's got Ray with her because Ray can't get on camera because Ray's hair's not done.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Okay, so
She-
she's in
she's like,
Atlanta.
she stays in Atlanta. She did not go back to Kentucky at all. And she's talking about Asante. That was her true love. I was his true love. Y'all just don't know the full story. I'm like, bitch, we know he got another girl pregnant. We know that for a fact. And then she's like, I'm still cool with his family. As a matter of fact, we're going out tonight. They want to make sure I'm good everywhere I go. And, this just jibber jabber the whole time.
They want to make sure she's good because they want to make sure they're getting that sweet, sweet Matt Sharp money.
I agree 100%. So she did let us know that Auntie has a name, and her name is Michelle. She's like, yeah, they can't tell y'all that on the show, but I ain't on the show no more, so her name is Michelle. We don't get a last name, so we're never going to be able to kind of stalk down Auntie and see.
And did
how
she
she
say
looks.
Auntie was not the pregnant one?
She's not the pregnant one. No.
Okay.
Totally different
Okay.
girl. Totally different girl. And so I also found out that Raneka got evicted back in July from her apartments from failure to pay rent. But
In
then I also
Atlanta.
found in Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
yes. But she actually won the case because I don't know if it was like a countersue. Is that what you would call that? Like you
Yeah,
fought
yeah.
the eviction and she
Uh-huh.
actually won. She sent in a letter. You could tell it's Raneka talking, but like a kind of semi smarter version of Raneka. And
Well,
she's like, look,
like when she talked to the
we
judge, she's
talked
like,
to the
"Hey,
judge. Yeah.
hey, judge, this is Raneka."
Yeah.
Yeah. She
She
can
had
act
her
right. Yeah.
she had her Harvard voice on, and,
Yeah.
she was like, "Look, I'm on government assistance. They pay for my rent. They stopped paying for it because of the hazardous conditions that this place is in." She said that
Oh.
she fell and hurt her ankle from the railing being so bad. There's roaches, there's rats, there's mold. The
Ooh.
toilets don't flush correctly. One toilet doesn't flush at all. There's like mildew and all kinds of stuff. So she's like, I didn't choose to stop it. They stopped it. And then she just goes on and on about how awful the landlord is, how awful the whole place is. And she won her case. I'm like, well, good for you, Raneka. But
Well, she
you
needs
need
to
to
go back to
move.
Kentucky and move into that house that her mom had with all the color-coded walls. That's where she needs to go.
I honestly feel as though she just wants to stay close to wherever he was.
Okay, well, RIP, he's not with us anymore, so she needs to go on back to Kentucky and get
I
her
agree.
eyelash machines and yeah.
Yeah, because if you're on government assistance, I don't think the eyelash business is booming too much for her right now.
Yeah, it didn't sound like a good business model to me, but,
Well,
she made
as a
us think
side hustle,
she made us think that it was just like she
booming
bought
business.
yeah,
Yeah.
these 5 machines, yeah, but no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think if you're working full time, that's like, a little cute side gig to have
Right,
and make
right, right,
extra
right.
money. But I don't know that she works. I mean, she's a rapper, but I don't
Right.
think she's going to be getting any calls from Diddy or Jay-Z anytime soon to drop some beats.
Her
So,
rap wasn't that bad, though, I gotta tell you, it wasn't that bad
and
when
it
we
wasn't
saw it.
that good. It wasn't that good either.
Great point, great point, great point.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we'll see.
Lord. Alright, well, now we're on to Brittany and Kerok, and so while you got your, receipts out, go ahead and tell us about Brittany and Kerok, what's happening there.
Oh, I will do so. So one of your bunkies, what do we call her? Lawyer bunkie?
We'll call her Lawyer Bunky, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she did a little bit of deep diving, and I was right. Remember, I told you I thought Key Rock got arrested because they had that
Yeah.
free Key Rock. He
Mhm.
did get arrested back in 7/4/2023 for reckless driving and driving without a damn license.
So
Yet
stupid.
yet we see him telling Brittany how to drive all the time. I'm like,
Wait, on 7/4, so 4th of July?
yeah.
He loves to get arrested on a holiday now.
Holidays, Christmas, 4th of July. Let's see what happens for
Wow.
Halloween.
What's
I
gonna
don't
happen on
know.
President's Day?
Right.
Jeez.
So she was saying that she doesn't know how it is in his state, but in her state, they really don't make people go back to jail for, speeding or anything like that. It's
Uh-huh.
usually a day for every mile that you were over the speed limit. But she's like, I don't know. He could face some charges because he literally just got out. And he
Uh-huh.
did just
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah.
But then on the tail end of it, Brittany just got arrested last Thursday for guess what?
Speeding.
Speeding. She was going like 95 in a 60. So she had to go to jail. I don't know if she stayed all night. I think she may have spent the night because of course Key Rock put free Brittany and all like okay, she went to jail. Like just jail. She doesn't need a free Brittany hashtag and all of that shit. But apparently she doesn't need that. So apparently she got stopped in December for speeding and erratic changing of the lanes. So
Uh-huh.
she had, I guess that's a misdemeanor. So they found her guilty and she was given a 30-day jail sentence with 29 days suspended. So that's why she had to turn herself in and a
Uh-huh.
$305 fine. And her license is suspended for 90 days. So I guess EB is going to be driving them around since neither one of them can drive at the moment.
They're really driving reckless in those Mercedes that they have, my gosh.
I know. I'm like, aren't y'all on probation? Like, this shit doesn't look good. Like, chill.
Yeah. They gotta get one of those, Dumb and Dumber brothers to start driving them
Key
around.
Rock needs
Yeah.
to get a whole license too.
Yeah, that's wild.
Now, let me ask you a question. I just thought about this.
Okay.
Do you think, I wonder, has he never had a license or it like
Huh.
hasn't been renewed?
Because so we went in prison, he's 25, he's been in 7 years, so that means
Right.
he went in when he was 18.
Yes. He may not have ever had a license.
He may not have ever had one
Yeah.
or got it taken away and just because he's been in prison for so long, he didn't get it
Yeah.
renewed, obviously. You
Right.
can't get it renewed
Yeah.
if you're not out.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
But let's say he did have a license and he hasn't gotten it renewed. Do you think that he's waiting for the full transition and like legally changing his name before he
Could
does
be.
that?
Yeah.
I thought about that. Maybe that has something to do with it.
It could have something to do with it too. He doesn't
Yeah.
want his old name on his license. That's
Anything.
interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big process. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we open up with them and they're at the house eating. And he's like, oh, yeah, like I missed my mom's soul food. And I don't
This
like
was a
how he,
much better to go. This was a much better welcome home meal than what Louie got.
I think so. Yeah.
By far.
They have all this food out. And I didn't like how he's like, babe, fix me a plate. Why did you give me some corn? I didn't like how he was sort of ordering her around to get his plate and
That's
stuff.
how he talks to her all the time.
I don't like that. I don't like
He's
that at all.
bossy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's sitting outside eating, and his mom and his Aunt Yvette are like, "Why are you eating like that? You eating like a caveman?" And mom's like, "It's like you never got any home training. Like, what are you doing?" And he says he's like used to eating like that from prison because not that necessarily somebody would come and take his food, but he wanted to eat it first before somebody asked him for it. So he just shovel it
Makes
in real
sense.
quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then mom gives him a cigar, which it seems like when she gave it to him, it seems like this is like our thing. Like we love to smoke
Right.
cigars. But
Uh-huh.
I don't think Rock had ever smoked a cigar.
Well, he inhaled the smoke.
He didn't know how to even like bite the tip off or anything.
No. Maybe that's
Uh-uh.
something he had talked about that he wanted to do once he got released and she got
Yeah.
it for him. I don't know, because he wasn't about that life at all. Like he needed
Uh,
an instruction kit to come along with
Yeah.
the cigar to teach him about it. Cause yeah.
So she tells us that, sitting outside, she says, prison saved Key Rock's life, but
Hmm.
prison got his best years, 21, 23, 24,
Yeah.
got his best years. But, he's alive and he's with us. So in her talking head, Brittany says, I love seeing Key Rock accepted, by his family. And I wish that, we could be more accepted by my family.
Right.
But then I just made another note. I don't like, he's like, make me a plate, do this, do that. I didn't like that. Didn't
He's
like it.
bossy. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, he was trying to tell her how to drive as soon as he got out of prison.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, what's your status at the DB? What is it? What is it?
DMV.
DP? Yeah, what is your status there? Because I don't think you have a license and need to be telling me anything about this. Like he didn't even know how the key popped out of the little key fob thing.
He didn't
Yeah,
know anything.
it's just bossy.
Bossy. So they arrive at the hotel, and my question is, where are your shoes, girl? She was completely barefoot, walking around outside and into that hotel completely barefoot.
Okay, Britney Spears.
That is
Like gross.
disgusting.
Yeah, that's no.
Even if your feet were hurting because of your shoes, you should just put on some flip flops or something.
Even if my foot was hurt, I don't care what.
Yeah.
It could have been a platform shoe. I'm still having my foot in a shoe to walk through. I mean, she had to go from outside through the hotel. No,
I'm sure they were like,
no.
gross, girl.
Uh-uh.
So the talking head, he goes, we're going to have to learn how to experience each other in the real world. Like we're
Mhm.
together in prison. And so they sit down and she shows him the things that she bought for him. So she's gotten him a new wallet, Michael
Mhm.
Kors, and a new watch, which was Citizen. And then she has a stack of gifts. And we see over there that she has these Louis Vuitton driving loafers. So, of course, you know what
Mhm.
I did? I went and looked them up. And
Well,
they
you didn't have
are,
a. Why did you bother to look that up? You knew those weren't real.
I thought they looked real.
I thought they did not.
Oh, well, they were $920 if you get them on LouisVuitton.com.
Do you think that maybe they were real?
Yeah, because she didn't go high end on anything else with the Michael Kors wallet and the Citizen watch. You know what I mean? Nothing else was like super high dollar.
Maybe,
Uh,
and she did get him all practical things that he would need to
yeah,
have. You know what I
yeah,
mean? She didn't buy dumb shit. I'll say that. Maybe
yeah.
they were real.
All right, so they do cheers. They get some red wine. They cheers to the first night together, and she cries, and she's like, "It's just like I just can't believe like we're doing it. We said we'd get out. We're going to do all the stuff, and we're really doing it." And then they sort of talk about how they were intimate on the inside, how they had to be different on the outside because they would have to have somebody stand in the corner and scream out 12 if a cop was coming and hide and all, I don't know.
I I couldn't get past the fact that she just kept saying, "Let's cheer to this. let's cheer to that. It's no, you still say cheers. We're gonna
Cheers.
cheers.
Oh, she
She
wanna do a
kept
single
saying,
cheer.
and I just kept cracking up at her. I'm like, okay, there it is the third time. Let's cheer to this. I'm like, poor thing. Just
I
it's
know.
too
Well,
much.
it's just like she's thinking about Melissa cheering. Cheerleader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa, be done with the cheerleading uniform.
Oh,
We've had
God.
enough.
So the next morning, they're laying in the bed, and they said they had a great night, and they'd chat again about like what it was like to be in prison, and how sometimes
Mm,
you just don't know the life on the outside. And listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Brittany has got those three hearts tattooed on the side of her face. It looks
mhm.
like a sideburn. I don't like it. Looks like a sideburn.
I wonder what they represent.
I don't know. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Probably
Maybe.
not. Probably not.
I mean,
Um, I don't know.
that's very odd. I mean, I'm used to the teardrop. That means you've killed a person.
Or spent 10 years in jail, we found out from, remember, Chelsea's dad that didn't speak sign language said if you have a teardrop, it means either you spent 10 years in jail or you killed somebody. Hmm.
Hmm. Maybe
Hmm.
we need to do a deep dive on this.
Yeah.
A little bit of investigating.
Okay. So let's see. The hearts on her face look like sideburns. So then he's like, "Oh, I got to get ready. It's 1 hour to the PO appointment." Okay. So right
Okay.
there, they're already running late.
Yes.
So he says, "Oh God, the worst thing is going to be like if the PO says we can't live together." Now he gets
Right.
distracted by the battery lit candles because he's been in prison 7 years, never seen this. He can't, he's like, "Woo, wow." She's like, "Baby, it's batteries. Just throw them in the bag." He's like trying to figure out
Wait,
how to turn them off.
wait till he sees all the things you can get from the Dollar Tree.
I mean, he's like, "Ooh." She's like, "Just throw it in the bag."
Yeah.
So
Did you
now,
see how he looked at her whenever she had the key card to
oh
for the
yeah,
elevator? He was like,
hmm,
"Wow, what's that?" Like,
yeah,
yeah. It's
yeah,
kind of funny when they watching them discover this new world.
yeah. So it's 40 minutes to the appointment. So they did in 20 minutes kind of clean up and get out of there pretty quick,
Yeah.
change clothes. So she's like, "I can't believe we're wearing these cute outfits and it's raining." So now it's 20 more minutes have passed and now it's
Mhm.
only 20 minutes to the appointment.
And
So
he's been extra bossy to her.
he's
He's
like, "Don't get
talking
on your phone."
shit.
She was like, "I'm putting the address in, the GPS," right? So he's
Yeah.
like, "I'll
And he's
do
like,
it."
get in the middle lane. Now, what did you just say right there? You said that he said he was gonna put the address in there.
Uh-huh. That's right.
Now that comes that later on what happens and makes you think,
Mhm.
who really made the mistake here, buddy?
Right. So
Yeah.
she's trying to put the address in and he's like,
Mhm.
"Give it to me." And he's bossing her, like, "Stay in the middle lane, do this." Then she just starts cursing him out in Spanish, which he
Yeah.
doesn't understand, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
She's like, "Usually I'm passive, but when I've had it, I've had it." She's like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," in
Yeah.
Spanish. And he just looks over at her and
He's
he
like,
was like,
"Don't talk to me like that."
yeah. And she's like, "You
Like,
don't even know what I said." Mhm.
yeah, because I'm like, does he mean don't talk to me in Spanish or don't talk shit to me? Because I don't think he knows anything that's going on. He's probably like, he doesn't know how to use a translator on the phone.
Also, like, it's been 7 years. Does he know how to put an address into Waze and hit go?
I don't
You
know.
know?
I don't know.
So it's 10 minutes to the appointment. They're 10 minutes early, right? So he
Mhm.
says, "I'm going to the appointment." She's like, "Call me and tell me you text me when you're in there." So then she's talking to the producer. She goes, "I really hope he's going to get a good PO who's understanding, that will let us live together, who's cool." So he calls her and she's like, "Hey, babe." He goes, "Why did you bring me here to the Richmond Probation Center?" She goes, "Because that's where it is." He goes, "No, you're supposed to take me to the Chesterfield one." She goes, "Well, babe,
Uh,
you told me the Richmond." He goes, "I didn't tell you anything." He's
well,
all assholey about it.
well, then how would she know where to go?
Right. How would she supposed to know? This is where she goes to
How?
probation. So how is she supposed to know where to take him?
Yeah. Well, he's such an asshole.
He really
He
is.
really is. Yeah. He is straight out the bat. He's an asshole to
And so
her.
it's 5 minutes until the appointment. So obviously they're not going to be able to get over to the Chesterfield building in 5 minutes. So hopefully, I'm hoping the Richmond people will call or whatever. But it's not a good first
Yes.
start. It's not a good
No.
no.
Yeah.
So that's the end of that. And then we get next week on. Anthony arrives home. So we see Sheree. "Oh, my
Mhm.
baby!" It jumps on him,
Yeah.
toddler style. Melissa asked Louie, "Was that true what your mom said? Could the probation officer just possibly show up anytime?" And he's like, "I don't think so." And then mom calls them while they're at the hotel and goes, "There's a goddamn unmarked car sitting outside the house." Ah, just screaming. And they're like, "Oh," and they look scared.
I bet it's not even that night.
No,
There's no way.
I don't
Mm-mm.
think that no. They wait till they give you the next day to check in,
Yeah.
and then after that, you gotta follow the rules.
Yes.
So, Brittney and Kerok talk. They're still in the same outfit they have on from the probation meeting, and she says, "Listen, we're not a normal couple, and we're gonna have to go through lots of procedures in order to have a kid." And he goes, "I don't wanna talk about kids."
I
And then
don't blame them.
he's like, "I've been out 25 minutes."
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want to talk about this and all this money and
it's
even
too
if we could
much.
have kids naturally, I don't want to talk about having kids right now.
No.
It's a lot.
And then she says in her talking head, "This is not a sacrifice I'm willing to make," but we don't really know what it's
Right.
about.
What
I'm
it
sure it's
is.
something
Yeah.
else, and they've tricked us. So Mikey cries, and I think he's reading a text from his mom that says, like, "When
Mhm.
you get home, we're really gonna
Yeah.
celebrate," and so that's very sad.
Sad. Yeah.
And then we see Brittany talking to Andy, and she tells Andy, "You're just real self-absorbed." And
What?
and then he's like, "Huh?" And then she's sitting outside on the stoop, and she says, "I'm not safe. It's not safe for me to be alone right now." So do you think she's gonna call up a boyfriend or something, or she's trying to hold that over Gracie's head to get Gracie to come back?
I don't
Is
trust
she
anything this bitch does. I really don't. I
Yeah,
don't.
Brittany we're
I
not getting off on a good foot with Brittany.
No, we are not. Not at all.
And
Nope.
usually the prisoner's the one we're rooting for.
Not I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm all the way rooting for Andy because every time he walks, I kind of hope he trips and falls. But I can't help it. He just
Hmm.
gets on my nerves. But she's unlikable at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and it could all turn around. It could all turn around. We'll be like, "Okay,
I
he
guess
is a
we'll
dick.
see.
He did do something." But, it's only that 3rd episode, and so
Yeah.
they are labeling these correctly collect that just lost my voice. Correctly, they are labeling it. This is season 5, episode 3, the $40,000 felon, which is Red.
Yes.
And
Yes,
from the
it is.
previews, we've been led to believe that, like, she leaves his shit on the side of the road. So
Yes, I know. Because
and
he's
then
just talking to other girls.
I'm yeah, he didn't go 7 years not talking to any other girls. Come on now.
That's all they have time to do is lie and, have a meal and lie to girls. That's
Yeah,
how they pass time.
yeah. We gotta get over to, what could I was trying to say Meatloaf Monday, Taco Tuesday, hmm,
Whatchamacallit Wednesday.
whatchamacallit Wednesday, and what are we gonna do
Yeah.
on Thursday? What's Thursday's meal gonna be? Um, hmm, gosh, I
Mm.
keep trying to think of something funny for fish. I can't think of what it would be. Because we gotta do Fishy
Uh,
Friday. Well, what are we gonna
Fishy
do on
Fridays.
Thursday?
Thursday. Why can't we think of something with a
Thirsty
T?
Thursday, all you get is water.
Thursday, there you go. Maybe that's the day they have that little moonshine they make in the prisons. Thirsty
Oh,
Thursdays. Yeah.
I know, and I
Yeah.
remember when, Amber and Puppy would talk about just drinking straight hand
Yeah.
sanitizer.
God,
Oh,
man.
oh my
My
god, you gotta
stomach
be
burns
desperate.
just thinking about that. Ugh, man. Y-
Desperado. Ooh.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Alright, guys, that's our episode, and I hope you enjoyed Love After Lockup, and
If you did, leave us a
tomorrow
5-star review.
please leave a five-star review on Pink Shade and the Libra Lounge with Keisha. And also follow us on Instagram at Pink Shade
Mhm.
Pod and the Libra Lounge with Keisha. I'll be
Yeah.
back tomorrow. Kimberly's going to be back tomorrow to talk about the Before the 90-Day Tell All Part 2.
Mhm.
And Thursday, I am talking to on Thursday regarding Shades of Bravo. Oh, I'm talking to these 2 girls from Access Hollywood, Emily and
Oh, cool.
Lauren. Yeah, we're going to be talking about all things Bravo over there. So
Are y'all
listen,
gonna mention the Lisa Barlow and the glam crew that's $60,000 a year, and then all for Bravo TV to show us how much they hate her and saw all the lines and creases and anything with that close up? I'm like,
I gotta tell you
damn.
something. When you have those, you've used makeup artists and stuff, and you're really good
Huh?
at makeup
Yeah.
yourself, but they do really cake that shit on thick. They
You,
really do.
especially because she's on camera, so they're
Yes.
got to do it extra. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
And then they get right
Mhm.
up close and show all that caked on stuff. I was like, girl, let me ask you while we're talking about that. What did you think about that? Because I think that's her right to be like, I don't want somebody else to do. I'm on camera. I don't want to do this.
If
She didn't have
someone
to cry
invites
about it.
me, she didn't have to cry about it. If someone invited me to an ugly party, I'm still coming cute. Like,
Yeah.
I'll wear ugly clothes, I'll do my hair ugly, but my face is going to be beat to the gods. No, I'm
Yeah.
not. I mean, but I would have participated in that event just because I love drag queens. But she had every
Mhm.
right not to do that. I don't fault her for that at all.
Mary hadn't done jack shit. She just
What
sits in the
what
van.
and or gets McDonald's, but when she imitated Whitney in that confessional, that was some funny shit right there. I me, I nye. She did the Whitney voice. I was like,
Mary is
this
funny.
woman, she
Mary is
is
funny.
funny.
But
She
she's like,
is.
"You said my family were pornographers."
You called us pornography, pornography, and then fucking Heather gets up from her throw up and says predator. It goes right back down to throwing up. This season has been great.
It's been
It has
really
been
good.
so
It's been
good. Yes.
really good. We don't need
Yeah.
Jen Shaw. No, we don't.
They proved it.
They
They have
proved it.
proved it. Yes,
Mm-mm.
they did.
All right, everybody, make sure to follow us on Instagram. I have a very funny TikTok that I put up with Raneka and her Sprite hairdo. And my social media girl's been out of town, and I've been having to do my own TikToks, Keisha.
Oh, I
I
don't
can
even know
tell
how
you.
to do TikTok videos.
It takes me minimum 1 hour. The one that I did with the 90-day party that I went to in New York, it took me
Mm,
almost 2 hours, and all I had to do was like drop the pictures together and put them together. But then I
yeah.
had to shorten it, and I'm doing it at 54 years old, close to
You
55. I'm doing it.
You isn't it weird we're both turning like the same digits for our birthday?
You know who
44,
you know,
55.
you know who has the same birthday as us? I just found out.
Who did we just add another person? Who?
Isaac Plath from Welcome to Plathville.
Which one?
Okay, Isaac. So he's the son
He's the cu-
that's 17 and just got the airplane. He's the son that's still at
he's
home.
okay. He's not the really, really, really hot one who's a model, right?
No, that's Micah. Let's see. Micah's
Oh,
birthday is
okay.
March 10th, which is almost my daughter's birthday, actually.
Okay, okay. You just
Uh-huh.
keep adding to the list. People heard that it's our birthday, so they're like, it's my birthday too.
I
Yeah.
know. A bunkie actually sent me this chart of all the Plath children with their actual birthday and Ethan and Olivia's anniversary
Mm.
and the Plath's. I mean, it was crazy. I was like, girl, you have done all the Lord's work. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm,
thank you. I
mm-mm.
got it because this was my chart before. Let me show you. This was my chart. Look, with all the little, I've got all their numbers and everything scratched
Yep.
out as they've gotten older. And this is this girl's chart. It's like a full spreadsheet. Yeah.
Wow. She did that like she's your assistant or something like that.
I
Like,
was
I'm
like,
going to
thank
make
you.
life easier for you. Here
She
you
did.
go. Happy birthday.
And I want to say, guys, on the $5 Prime level, I am doing with Amy this week an Ask Mark, which is an Ask Mark Wahlberg, Mark L. Wahlberg of Temptation Island.
Mm.
Ask Mark life questions because Mark, he's full of life and knowledge, and he loves to give
Mm.
advice. So we're doing a special segment called Ask Mark. Ask
Oh,
Mark
nice.
L. Wahlberg from Temptation Island your life questions. So if you have any questions for Mark, you can send them over to us at mp@pinkshadepodcast.com or info@pinkshadepodcast.com, whatever you want. And we will ask him over there on that $5 level of Prime. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I just think he's so great. I was like, I'm just going to get him back on. What can I do? I'm going to ask him advice.
He's been in the game a while
Yeah.
and he
He's
looks
smart.
good. Yeah.
We love him. We can't wait for Temptation Island to come back. Probably got another year. But all right, everybody, follow us, Pink Shade Pod and Libra Lounge with Keisha, and I'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.